A woman whose terminal cancer went undiagnosed for several years is urging women with health concerns to demand further investigations. 42-year-old Kelly Pendry from Ewloe in Flintshire was diagnosed with a rare uterine sarcoma in 2021, but her symptoms of heavy prolonged periods and pain began in 2016. Sarah Easdale has more.
Kelly and her husband Michael try to enjoy the ordinary pleasures of life. After aggressive chemotherapy, she's doing well, but they both know that can change. And they wonder if things could have been different if she'd been diagnosed earlier, instead of initially being told her symptoms were down to heavy periods and her body settling after pregnancy.
I was bleeding almost all the time, and I was gaining weight really rapidly without explanation. And I had this really, really swollen tummy that just wasn't going away. And I was just bloated all the time, and I was suffering really bad headaches and dizzy spells, and I felt like I was a bit of a drama queen. I felt like I was overthinking it. I felt like, God, is this in my head a bit? Is this stupid?
Later, it was thought Kelly had benign fibroids and was expecting a hysterectomy, but the pandemic delayed surgery, and 12 months later, she was told she had leiomyosarcoma, a rare cancer which affects 600 people in the UK each year.
I'd been told then by this nurse, you're stage 4, you're terminal. There is nothing that will be done for you. And she said, you won't see the end of this year. And she turned around to my mum and she said, I suggest that she doesn't make plans with those children for Christmas. She will disappoint them.
Kelly then underwent 6 rounds of chemotherapy in Liverpool. Her oncologist said it could buy her time, and it has, but she's been told the hysterectomy she hoped for is no longer an option. The Clatterbridge Cancer Centre, which has been treating her, says in cases where cancer has spread, chemotherapy is generally more effective. But if surgery is likely to be beneficial, it will be offered, even in cases of incurable cancer. But Kelly and Michael still want to try. He's now fundraising by taking on a 180-mile run from Ewloe to Hanham near Bristol, hoping to take Kelly to the USA for surgery there.
I thought to myself, do you know what, if he doesn't raise a penny, if he goes and does this insane run with purely the intention to try to save my life, even if I die tomorrow, gosh, what a legacy that is. You know, for the kids to kind of go, that was what our dad was prepared to do for our mum. That's what they'll grow up with. So that is enough.
Well, watching Kelly's story is Judy Rees, the Chief Executive of Tenevis Cancer Care. Judy, this is a tragic example of what a late diagnosis can mean.
It's really tragic for Kelly and her family, and we're really, really sorry to hear the story. Unfortunately, it is quite common, particularly with these rare cancers. And Kelly's cancer, only 600 cases in the UK. So many GPs will not pick up on the signs because they are quite vague symptoms, which are often mistaken for other things like irritable bowel syndrome, for example, or fibroids.
And Kelly's is a gynecological cancer, and there is some work being done with women who find themselves in a similar position to Kelly.
Yes, there is. So the Health and Social Care Committee at the Senedd is looking at the experiences of women. And sadly, we are seeing a number of other cases very, very similar to Kelly. We're in touch particularly with a 40-year-old woman who has a very, very similar story. Her diagnosis took 66 weeks. And in that time, of course, you have the danger of the cancer spreading because we all know that an early diagnosis is so important, and it can be the difference between life and death.
And what more can be done to reduce the number of misdiagnoses?
I think it's really important that people are encouraged to go forward. They know instinctively, people know when there's something wrong with their bodies, and they need to persevere to make sure that the GP does hear them and their voice is heard. But we also need GPs to be a lot more aware of these vague symptoms. We know common things are commonest, but with these rare cancers, could it be that? Please, refer the patients for further tests. We have the rapid diagnostic centres, for example, in Wales now. So again, get people referred in there. The earlier that these things are diagnosed, the better the diagnosis.
Judy Rees, thank you.